He must have died a million times in there. I did, I know. Sometimes I felt it would have been better if they'd have hanged us. A lot of people died that night. I don't think just Jack died. There's a general invitation to a party. And I mean, this isn't said on the stairs, something else like that, get Jack, we've got to get him round here and give him a slap or anything else like that. It weren't a message from Reggie Kray that he came to me and said, Chris, we want Jack to have a little bit of a sort out, you know, take him away onto Wanstead's flats and put one in the back of his head, which you would think if they wanted to kill the man, that was the way it would be done, in a sensible way. He's done away with, he's taken away and disposed of. It was nothing like that whatsoever.
It was a crude trap for an old villain like McVitie. Hart, Tony Barry, the Lambrianos could all have warned him. Even when they failed to, he should have smelled something a little odd about this sudden invitation, but he was probably too drunk. Barry brought the gun and drove off looking scared before becoming even more involved. Young Ronnie Hart returned. Ronnie posted him as a lookout in an upstairs window facing the street. Just before midnight, Hart saw a beaten-up Ford Zodiac draw up. 5 men got out. The Lambrianos, 2 brothers by the name of Mills, and finally a man in a hat, McVitie. Hart gave the alarm. McVitie burst in, ready for a party. "Where's all the birds? All the booze?" he shouted. Ronnie Kray was waiting for him, watching from the sofa. Reggie was behind the door.
"Where's the birds and the booze?" That's the first thing he said, and then he saw Ronnie. And Ronnie just looked up, and he went, "Hello, Ron." And Ronnie just walked over and hit him underneath the eye with a glass. "Hey, well, I've had a fucking enough of you, now fuck off." And walked back to the television, and all of a sudden Jack was going, "What have I done? What have I done?"
A fight develops. No, an argument develops. Then it turns into a fight. A gun is pulled out, starts clicking away, it doesn't work.
And there's a bit of confusion. Now I'm convinced had Jack walked out of the room after Ronnie hit him with the glass, that would have been the end of it. But he didn't.
Outside, big Chrissy Lambriano, who had always wanted to be a gangster, suddenly realized what he had done and was sitting, weeping, on the stairs.
Whatever was going down, I wanted no part of it. So I walk outside and Connie Whitehead says to me, "What's the matter, Chris? I'm half cut as well." "Connie, I didn't come down here for this."
If they'd have wanted to kill Jack there, they could have killed him 20 times over, you know. But when a fight happens, it just all gets out of hand, and as you say, you go to win. You know, I don't think they said, "Oh, we'll get Jack down there because we're going to kill him," because there were no plans to bury him or do anything or whatever, you know. I don't think it was premeditated. Though they said the Lambriano's soppy nuts Lambriano to go and get him, you know. It wasn't. I don't think there was any sort of plan to murder anybody. It's beat fuck out of him, yeah, you know. But then all of a sudden, like, things go over the top.
Reggie thrust the knife into his face below the eye. The butchering followed as McVitie sank to his knees. Reggie stabbed his stomach and his chest and finished by impaling him through the throat.
They said to me, "Get rid of that. Throw it under a fucking train." And they'd gone then. That was the end of it. There we are, left with this, with Jack on the floor there.
There's Jack and the hat laying in the middle of the floor. I'm looking at him. I can't believe he's dead. This thing is snowballing. Flat we're in is borrowed from a woman called Blonde Carol for this party. She could come back at any time. find a body in her house. We're not playing Cluedo here, this is real life. I go and get a bucket, plastic bucket and a shovel, and there's all kind of livery stuff, congeal blood. Took it upstairs, go in the toilet, swill it away. Please God, don't let the children wake up, because if they come out they're going to find a body on the landing. Well, we got the body out and we tried to put it in the boot, as you see in these films, and that didn't work, so we put the body on the back seat. Tony then gets in it, he drives away, we're following him. We go on to the Rotherhithe Tunnel. We go through it, but we lose Tony. The lights went against us, we didn't want to attract any attention by racing through. We get to the other side and we don't know where Tony is, so we're going round in circles looking for him. We finally see him standing on a corner. We pull in, pick him up. What have you done with it, Tone?
As you come out of the tunnel, I'd done all right, and there was a church there. And there'd been a wedding. Now all I want to do is get rid of it. That, as far as I was concerned, you can't drive about with that, obviously. So it was just parked over by this church. I got out of the car and left it. I was picked up and we drove away. Here I am. Gone out for a night's drinking. In wind-up involving the murder and disposing of someone's body. People say to me, I've never done that, I couldn't have done that. But where was guilt was anyone?
Quite frankly, I think they let us down. You know, if there's an honesty and a nobility, and I use that word in such as there's honour amongst thieves, you understand, then, you know, as the captains of the ship, they should have, when it was beyond a shadow of a doubt that there was no way that they could save themselves, was to try and save us.
Well, I think one knew it was going to come. There was no other sentence, I suppose, possible at the time. They've been typecast now as criminal celebrities, as celebrity villains, and the picture people have of them is really the picture that came over in that film of them called The Krays. And also, you know, all the sort of gangster reminiscences which have come out of them, which really carry one's knowledge of them no further. Of course they were gangsters, they committed murder and all the rest of it, but behind it all I think there was the most terrible, sad story, which is of these two identical twins, and one of them was abnormal. He'd been damaged mentally as a child by getting, as far as I can make out, a combination of measles and diphtheria together. Ronnie wasn't normal. Reg was.
There's lots of people walking around in the East End of London that's been hit on the chin by Reggie, but I wouldn't say that about Ronnie. It'd be a different kettle of fish with Ronnie, because Ronnie wouldn't be happy with just hitting you on the chin. He'd look for you until he found you and he would hurt you. Simple as that. You would fear Ronnie. And there's no two ways about it. If Reggie sent for you and wanted to see you in Valence Road, you'd go round and see him, you'd have a cup of tea with him and you'd walk out. If Ronnie sent for you, you'd take 6 pairs of pants with you. That's the difference between the two of them.
He was feared, and anybody that said they wasn't frightened of him is telling lies. You know, I mean, I've heard loads of rubbish in the papers and seen all the rest of it, and I tell you what, if the man was alive today, they would be shitting themselves, you know, in case he did ever get out. I mean, let's put it this way, I wasn't frightened of him because I knew how to handle him, but if he had the hump on me, I'd keep well away until Reggie sorted it out.
Reg, all his life, had this thing that he had to look after this sick, unstable, identical twin brother, and he did look after him. The only trouble was the unstable, mentally sick twin was the dominant. If Ronnie hadn't been quite so balmy and hadn't killed George Cornell because he's supposed to have called him a fat poof, they'd be stone-rich geezers. They were in most of the frauds in the East End, a lot of protection, a lot of rackets. They really, really didn't need to kill people. But once that killing had happened, then that increased their terror ratio enormously, you see, particularly with Ronnie. Francis Bacon, incidentally, who also knew him, said he had the most frightening face he'd ever seen, which I think from Francis Bacon is quite something. He was a paranoid schizophrenic and he was mad. But he was fascinated by this whole illusory world of gangsterdom. For Ronnie, I think the barriers between real crime and film crime were very blurred, and I think he often stepped over it.
I know what fear is. I had nightmares today over what Ronnie Kray done to me, and I'm bloody glad he's dead and fucking, you know. Walked up the stairs in their gambling club, and as I got halfway up, I see all these geezers standing this side and that side, and I thought, it's on me. Come in then, with his sloppy voice. Come in then, nothing wrong. I was alright, well, yeah, sit down. He set me in the armchair. As he's turned, I see this big range cooker. I thought he was just trying to frighten me. When he started burning me, my suit and my hair, and I thought the man's fucking crazy, you know? How can the same man do that to anybody, like, you know? But he never finished there. He said, I'm going to burn your fucking eyes out. I thought, so I'm dead. Anyway, someone out the back said, no, Ron, not that. And all of a sudden he went, just like that. He stopped. He went, okay, you can go now. I've been in pubs in the East End, and the Krays would come in, and the pub had empty. People were so afraid of them.
Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please join our Facebook group. It's called Krays Crime Lords of London. We're a friendly, moderated group with over 1,000 Kray and other celebrated gangster videos available for view. There's also thousands of images in the photos sections. The link for the group is in the YouTube description section. I hope we see you there soon.